Yo! Gotta go quick. Curry off the screen. Got enough room. Again! Butter!
Curry is about to put on a show at the Garden. The baby-faced assassin erupted for 54 points and lasered in 11 triples.
The drama surrounding Steph Curry's unexpected injury didn't unfold with a catastrophic fall or a sideline scream. It came quietly in the second quarter of a crucial playoff game against the Timberwolves. Just 13 minutes into the game, Curry exited with discomfort and didn't return. At first, the reaction was confusion. Then came the scan results. A grade 1 hamstring strain. And suddenly, the entire outlook for the Golden State Warriors shifted from confident to uncertain. This wasn't just a headline. It was a shockwave. The very identity of the Warriors, on and off the court, has long revolved around Steph Curry's movement, his gravity, his supernatural ability to transform any moment into magic. Take that away, even for a week, and the Warriors don't just lose a scorer. They lose their rhythm, their spark, their heart. Now, Steph is out for at least a week. That includes games 2 through 4 of the series against a Timberwolves team built to punish any weakness. And as ESPN's NBA Today panel laid out with surgical clarity, this injury could not have come at a worse time. Shams Charania broke the news with all the professionalism of a man used to delivering bad news. It's the first muscle strain of Curry's 16-year career, he noted, adding a quiet gravity to what at first sounded like a minor hiccup. He's missed 245 games before, sure, but never for something that affects the very core of how he plays, movement. And that's where it gets scary. Curry's greatness isn't built solely on his shooting touch. It's built on constant motion. Game 7 against the Rockets, he ran nearly 2 miles on the court. That's what makes him different. He's not just a shooter, he's a mover. A threat even without the ball. And hamstring injuries? They don't tolerate movement, they punish it. Former pro athletes Chiney Ogwumike and Andrea Carter didn't sugarcoat the challenge. Hamstrings are trickier than a rolled ankle, Chiney explained. You can't tape them up. They demand rest, stretch, patience. If you rush it, you tear it. And if you tear it, you're gone. So what do the Warriors do now? They adapt. Fast. And somehow, in Game 1 they did. They pulled off a shocking win against Minnesota, without Steph, relying on defense, grit, and unlikely offensive surges from veterans like Draymond Green and newcomers, like Buddy Hield. The formula was simple but effective. Trust the system, move the ball, and defend like hell. Draymond, long the emotional core of the Warriors, stepped up in every way, not just with his voice or his physicality, but with cold-blooded shooting. He hit 4 of 6 threes in the first half, a stat no one had on their playoff bingo card. More importantly, he managed to channel his fire into control, emotional. Regulation, as Carter called it. He stayed focused, disciplined, strategic. And then there was Jimmy Butler. The man often called playoff Jimmy didn't disappoint. He scored or assisted on every single Warriors basket in the fourth quarter, essentially becoming the team's offense in crunch time. His leadership wasn't loud, it wasn't performative, it was surgical, calculated, ruthless. His post-game. Chemistry with Buddy Hield was a bonus, equal parts comedy and camaraderie, joking about being Batman and Robin, ribbing each other about mismatched shorts, and debating who lost their joy and where it went. It wasn't just funny. It was vital. It reminded everyone that the Warriors still had soul, that the locker room hadn't broken, and they'll need that spirit in the games to come. Game 2 looms large. Everyone expects Minnesota to come out swinging, angry, wounded, and ready to exploit Steph's absence. But what the Warriors found in Game 1 wasn't luck. It was a formula, a blueprint, ball movement, unselfish offense, gritty defense. They assisted on over 75% of their made shots, proof that without Curry, they didn't collapse. They adapted. Jimmy Butler became the floor general. Buddy Hield found his rhythm in the third quarter. And Draymond anchored both ends, reminding the league that leadership comes in many forms. But what about the Timberwolves? Minnesota's frustration was palpable. They shot 12 of 76 from 3 across games 1 and 2, a horrendous 15%. The worst 2-game shooting performance in playoff history. A team ranked 4th in the league in three-point percentage suddenly couldn't buy a bucket. The stats were staggering. The mood? Unsettled. Anthony Edwards, Minnesota's star and rising face of the league, took the losses hard. "That's how it goes," he shrugged. "Sometimes you shoot well, sometimes you shoot bad." It was a calm answer, but not a convincing one. Timberwolves. Coach Chris Finch was less forgiving. He called out Edwards directly. Not for missing shots, but for failing to read the game. He came out with a predetermined mindset, Finch said, and the light just kind of went out. That's not criticism. That's an alarm bell. Edwards' defensive effort remained strong. He had a few highlight stops, plugging passing lanes, contesting shots, getting low and fighting on switches. But offensively, he vanished. His drives came too late. His aggression was reactive, not proactive. He waited until the game was out of reach before trying to impose his will. And that, the analyst said, is the difference between good and great. Andrea Carter nailed it. He didn't do anything on offense in the first half. Not that he couldn't, he just didn't. The implication was clear. Edwards is the Timberwolves engine. When he hesitates, the car stalls. It's a hard truth for a young star to hear, but it's necessary. Because on the other side of the court, Jimmy Butler, once a frustrated 28-year-old in a Timberwolves uniform, is now a 35-year-old leader, laughing on the podium but dominating on the floor. Experience over ego. Timing over flash, that's the contrast. If Minnesota is going to survive this series, it won't be by hoping Steph stays out. It'll be by figuring out who they are without Curry on the court, and asserting dominance anyway. So far, they've failed. Twice. Golden State, meanwhile, knows exactly who they are. With Curry, they're elite. Without him, they're tough, tested, and gritty enough to grind out wins. And that's dangerous, because if they can just win one more game while Steph recovers, they'll get him back with momentum on their side. That's all they need, just one more. Then they bring Curry back for Game 5 or 6, rested, focused, and ready to punish a defense already chasing shadows. So what's next? The Timberwolves must bring fire and focus. No more settling for perimeter shots. No more waiting for Ant to wake up. They must play like they're down 3-0, not tied 1-1. Because the Warriors are betting on chaos, and so far it's working, and the Warriors, they'll keep doing what they do. Share the ball, defend as a unit, ride the leadership of Butler and Draymond, and hope the basketball gods give Curry's hamstring the healing it needs, because this isn't just about Steph anymore. It's about proving that the system works, that the culture is real, that when the star goes down, the story doesn't have to end. It's about survival. And so far, the Warriors aren't just surviving, they're writing a new chapter. Can the Warriors really pull this off without Steph Curry? Will Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green keep the team locked in long enough for Curry to return? Or is Minnesota ready to bounce back and turn the tide? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're here for the deepest, smartest NBA, breakdowns that go beyond the box score, subscribe and turn on the bell. Because in this postseason, every step matters, every minute counts, and every injury rewrites the story.